Today I decided to finish my day with a Chandra Namaskar, or Moon Salutation. Inhale, reach up, nice long spine, shoulders away from the ears. Breath in, and on an exhale, we are going to bend to the right. Inhale to come up. And exhale, bend to the left. Our movements are slow and deliberate because the Moon Salutation is meant to slow the body down and get you ready for rest. From here, we're going to step into Goddess Pose, pointing your feet outwards, getting into your lunge. You can use a mudra with the fingers and lunge into those hips. Take big breaths here. When you're ready, go ahead and reposition your feet into Trikonasana or triangle pose. Reaching down and up, you can also look towards your top fingers. Take lots of nice deep breaths here and feel that stretch. Reposition your feet, shorten your stance a little bit into pyramid pose. We want a nice straight back. And then when you're ready, go ahead and just let yourself melt over that front leg. A small bend in the leg is all right. If your hamstrings are feeling tight, don't feel like you have to completely straighten your legs in these poses if it doesn't feel good for you. Drop that knee and you're going to lunge. This is our low lunge. Make sure that you're setting up your front leg so that it's a nice 90-degree angle, reaching up. And if you so choose, on an exhale, you're just going to move into a slight back bend, or as much of a back bend as feels good for you here. Frame the feet coming forward. We're going to step up and we're going to reposition those toes again, and we're going to move into a side lunge, a Skandasana. So Skandasana, sometimes, if you can, put that heel down. If you can't, up on the toes is okay. We're working on putting our heels down and creating more mobility in our ankles. Scoot over to the other side, Skandasana on the other side, and you're bringing yourself back to the other side of the mat. Now from here, we're going to work our way backwards through the sequence we just did, stepping first into that low lunge on the other side, reaching up, pointing the fingers, and taking a back bend. From that nice juicy low lunge, framing the feet, popping up that leg into our pyramid pose. Take a moment to straighten the spine and then hinge or bend, melt over that front leg. You can let your head become heavy here. See if it feels any different than it did when you did it on the other side. Turn that back foot, reposition yourself to move yourself into Trikonasana. Reach forward, bending down, reaching down with one arm, up with the other arm. Gaze is to the top middle fingers. Come on back up. And from there, we're moving back into our lovely goddess pose. Notice if this feels a little bit different for you from the first goddess pose that you did. When it feels right for you, step back. And you're going to finish with those side bends, but on the other side of the mat. Bending one side. Inhale to come up when you're ready. And exhale, bending to the second side. So you've mirrored what you've done on the other side of the mat. That's one half of your Chandra Namaskar. Now you can move into the same sequence, starting on this side of the mat, and you're going to find yourself on the other side. So we're working the other side of the body. Position yourself so you're nice and grounded. A nice mountain pose, maybe hands on the belly to notice the breath. On an inhale, we're going to reach up, look up, position yourself nice and long spine. Inhale, we're bending toward the long part of the mat. Inhale brings you up. Exhale, side bend to the other side. Inhale brings you up. And you guessed what's next. We're moving into our goddess pose once again. You may notice that it's feeling a little bit more open because you've done this already twice. Feel free to take a mudra with the fingers. Inhale. You're going to reposition those toes into your triangle pose facing the other side of the mat. On an inhale, you're going to come back up and you're going to reposition those legs, straightening out that back foot, shortening your stance. Straighten up the spine, hinging down over that front leg into our pyramid pose. Remember, friends, it's all right to bend that leg. You do not have to force it to a place it doesn't want to go. You're still going to get the benefit of the pose with a bent knee. Drop that back knee, and we're going to move into our next low lunge. Reposition yourself. Make sure you feel steady. Inhale, reach up, and on an exhale, maybe you want to do a back bend. Notice if that back bend feels a little bit more open. Exhale, we're going to bring it back down. Reposition yourself so that you can move into the next part of the pose, which is our Skandasana. Make sure that you're paying close attention to what your body's doing. In this part, my heel was quite a bit further down because my ankles were a little bit more warmed up. Inhale to come up, exhale to move down. Skandasana or side lunge on the other side of the mat. On an in-breath, you're going to start repositioning, moving yourself into low lunge on the other side. Remember, moving backwards through the sequence that we just completed forwards. Big breath in here. And on an exhale, you can bend a little bit further. Exhale down, frame that front foot, pop back up into your pyramid pose. By now, your hamstrings will feel a little bit looser. See if you can kind of straighten that out a little bit more. See how that feels. Inhale, bring yourself back up, reposition the back foot. Widen that stance. Go ahead and lean forward, coming down into Trikonasana. Notice the energy in the fingertips. Reach, bring yourself back up, and we're going to move into our goddess again. Straightening back up. There we go, reach. We're going to step back to the other side of the mat where we very first started, and we're going to do our side bend toward the long end of the mat. Inhale up and exhale, bend to that last side. Inhale up, exhale, hands to prayer. And that, my friends, is Chandra Namaskar or a Moon Salutation. Try this with slow, deliberate movements to relax.